Welcome back to Building Solid Foundations Radio. I'm your host, Steve Matley. Today we are talking to Faiz Farj. He is a pharmacist, and we have been discussing differences between retail and compounding pharmacies, a little bit about the pharmaceutical business, why he got into it. And now I'm going to get in a little deeper to some stuff, and I don't really like to do anything about politics or any of that kind of stuff, but I am interested in how different industries work. And so here's a question for you, seeing both ends of this. Do you think that our healthcare, the amount of money we spend on healthcare with insurance and subsidies and all those things that we do, the money we spend, would we spend more or less if that more of that money was spent on, say, personal trainers, physical therapists, nutritionists, compounding pharmaceuticals, homeopathic doctors versus where most of the money goes now, which is to surgeries and basic big pharma type medicines that kind of more reactive. Do you think there would be a difference in how much money we have to spend on the overall healthcare of our country?
So that's a good question. So if I was to look at it from my standpoint, I would say yes, but when you have 360 million people in the country, it's going to be difficult to get 360 million people to get a personal trainer or a dietitian or some homeopathic treatments. And as we stated earlier, when it comes to healthcare, we're a little too reactive than we are proactive. But I will say that in the healthcare industry, they have taken a more proactive approach. They've given pharmacies metrics to where you got to make sure, for example, patients are taking their medications every month, right? And on a daily basis, and you're on top of that. And that's a metric that the insurance companies measure against you or for you.
How can they control that?
So, it's a matter of, let's just say, Steve, you're on a cholesterol medication, right? And you took it for 30 days straight, and then you skipped a week and you didn't come in and pick up your medication, so they're tracking by your refill history.
So they don't. So they're tracking based upon your replacement. You're refilling your stuff, but they can't. There's no way to really know if you're taking that. I could be selling that to other people.
Well,
I could be.
there is, yeah, because you're doing your blood work with your physician, and they're seeing, okay, well, your cholesterol is still not controlled, or your blood pressure is still not controlled. It's a matter of, are you taking the medication, or is the medication just not working for you? So, those are the only two issues that you would have in that situation. But they're trying to take a proactive approach to it. I mean, even insurance companies charge premiums that are higher now if you're obese or if you're unhealthy and so on, which, I could see where they're coming from, because but at the same time, I think in those situations, they should take a more proactive approach and reward the patient for taking steps to lose weight or get healthier and so on. That's where I could see getting a personal trainer or a dietitian and so on, and showing that, hey, I'm taking the steps to be healthy.
Well, that's what I've always found ironic and to me, that's more punitive. It's after the fact. I say, to me, everything seems to be after the fact. Okay, you're too heavy, so we're gonna crank your rates up on you. But what's not included in there is, by the way, you can use your insurance to pay for a nutritionist. You can use your insurance to get blood panels to balance out, see what kind of supplements you need. You can find out if you have allergies or things that are affecting this. Those kind of things. You can't use your insurance to offset gym memberships or those things. And so to me, it's still reactive, and the rate difference is to me more punitive.
And that would be a great way of handling, our healthcare industry, is to be more proactive in that sense. I agree with you 100%. If they were able to say, hey, we will pay for you to get a dietitian, or we will pay for you to go see a homeopathic doctor, or to handle your, get a gym membership, it doesn't matter. But just in order for us to be a healthier community, we have to help each other out in any way we can,
Yeah, I think like the preventative to me, and I think that it goes into what are you eating, and for different people that's different. It seemed that what the government approach to nutrition is, let's put out a pyramid and say everybody has to eat this diet. Well, there's a lot of kind of different people, and some people have severe, grain intolerances, and the whole bottom part of the pyramid is eat a bunch of grains, right? And that doesn't work. So
if you do your blood work, it'll tell you exactly what works, what you metabolize and what you don't.
That's right. Yeah.
What's your metabolism? What's your body breaking down? What is it? Isn't it breaking down? What is it converting to fat? And what isn't converting into fat? And so on. And I know a lot of people, that's the wave of the future right now. A lot of people are doing that right now. They're doing, tests to see, like, I could eat this and I'm going to lose weight, or if I eat this, I'm going to store fat, or if I eat this, it's going to, spike my insulin, and
Right.
so on. So, um, I recommend it for anybody. If you're able to, go see a dietitian. Go see somebody who could measure those parameters for you and see uh, what benefits you to eat most. I know for a fact, like myself, if I eat carbs, I feel like I'm going to explode the next day. You
Right.
know, but I could eat fat all day long, and I don't get a pound.
Right, and it's different for there's some people that do very well on a vegan diet. Other people do very well on an all meat diet. And they're totally opposite, but their bodies are built very differently. And I know so many people with different allergies that they cannot eat certain things, even though they're healthy for other people to eat.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I have a condition where I get eczema, and I get it because I eat, tree nuts. I'm not allergic to tree nuts, but for some reason I get eczema to when I eat them.
That's like a slight allergy. I think it's an allergic reaction. It's not to get you sick, but I think it's your body telling you something.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's just a matter of, but you could probably eat tree nuts all day long and you're fine.
Yeah, nuts don't bother me at all. Grains are a problem for me. I don't. They don't process well. If I eat a meal with a lot of grains and sugars, 7 hours later it hasn't digested yet. It's just sitting in there like a brick. But I could eat a 20-ounce steak and it's like nothing.
Like nothing. Exactly. That's how I am. If I eat grains, that's like, I feel like, like I told you, like I gained 20 pounds that day.
Yeah. Green vegetables, I can eat those. I can eat, most veggies. I can eat a lot of veggies. The problem is that if there's pizza or cake in the refrigerator, the veggies will probably rot. That's the problem. So you have to keep that stuff out of the house, right?
Exactly. I mean, sugar is the most addicting drug in this world. That's one thing that they don't stress enough of.
And it's in everything. It's insidious in what it goes into. We think we're avoiding it, and we're not, because it's in the barbecue sauce that went on our meat. It's in the ketchup on the burger. It's in, a lot of things that we're not thinking of.
Yes, exactly. You try to avoid it as much as you can, but exactly like you said, it's almost unavoidable.
Yeah, and I think that's where a lot of let's say the reactive pharmacy is trying to combat things that are caused by that. And we, as humans, we have a natural tendency towards those things that are sweet, those things that are fatty, those things that are satiating. And I think that goes back to just primitive physiology. For the most of human history, thousands of years, most humans were not well fed. It was a struggle to find enough food to eat, and therefore you gravitated towards food that would stick to you and turn to fat cells, and you could carry around a little bit because you didn't really know where your next meal might come from, especially in a long winter. Exactly. Yeah, but unfortunately we live in a different world where now we can walk to the Costco or to any grocery store and buy more than what any human should ever consume, and take it all home and eat it all at once, and then sit on our couch and watch TV instead of being out in the field working. I think if you spend 14 hours a day plowing a field, you burn a lot of calories off.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Sitting in a chair, not so much.
Yeah.
So our lifestyle changed drastically, but our diets, if anything, went more the direction of the really more satiating, fattening, enjoyable foods.
Yep.
Comfort foods.
But you begin to see a shift again, right? You begin to see people getting into the healthier lifestyles, the working out, the dieting.
Yes.
The unfortunate thing is people get into the fad diets, which are never lasting, right? So you almost just have to find the diet that works for you and just stick to that. And I always tell people, don't call it a diet. It's just your way of life now. It's just how you eat, So, when you call it a diet, it's temporary.
Right.
You want something more permanent. So just change your lifestyle of eating and you just make it permanent.
Yeah, I went to a doctor. He's a holistic doctor, and they did blood panels on me. They ran the blood panels, and they just lined everything up, and they could tell by the enzymes what was going on. And then they said, okay, here's a list. They said you can eat anything you want to eat. Now, here's the list of what you're going to want to eat. But that was a pretty small list, and most of what I thought I wanted to eat wasn't on there. So it was a list of vegetables and lean meats and those kind of things, and fish. And I was like, I don't see a hamburger, I don't see cheesecake on here anywhere. But that worked. And there's a self-discipline issue, and in our culture, it's around us all the time. It's kind of that food porn kind of a concept. Everywhere you go, the temptation is everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. Everywhere you go, everywhere you look, there's a burger, there's fries, there's pizza, there's But like I said, when you turn it into a lifestyle and it's your everyday eating habit, it's easy to avoid at that point because you actually start enjoying what you eat. And my wife lives a different kind of lifestyle. My wife believes in moderation. She goes, everything in moderation is good, as long as you're not overdoing it. So if you want to have a burger once in a while, it's fine, as long as you're not doing it every day. So
I would agree because even people have, like say, I'm not supposed to eat grain items. Every once in a while, I will. It hasn't killed me yet. But I'll have a piece of birthday cake on my birthday. That's that hasn't killed me, but that's once a year, right? So
that's moderation,
right,
and I agree with her. I'm a little more strict with my dieting, but
right.
or my eating habits. I hate calling them dieting and my eating habits. But that's just because I enjoy my eating habits. I don't have an issue with them. So, and I don't crave the other stuff. So,
Okay. Um, we're about out of time on this segment. When we come back, I want to talk to you about Zoba, this company you have, and what it does and how that ties into everything else you do. I find it's a very interesting conversation of what I know nothing about. Again, what I know about pharmaceuticals is it couldn't fill a thimble. So I find it very interesting to learn about other things. And obviously, I'm a consumer of it. I'm a part of it. So it's good to know all these things. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back after this. I'm talking to Faiz Farj. He's a pharmacist. And this is Steve Matley on Building Solid Foundations Radio. And we'll be back after this.